The reason that we have club officers is to lead the club in its quest to help every member achieve their goals. When you first heard of Toastmasters, it's most likely that you realized that you could learn how to do better at public speaking. What you may not have realized is that you can also get better at leading, because after all, Toastmasters is where leaders are made. There's a reason they chose that tagline, because this is a safe place to fail at not only public speaking, but also at leading. It's a place where you can practice some special skills and see how good you are at leading and get better at it. Let's go over every officer's role. The club officers are also known as the board of directors. These 7 roles, 7 people, help lead the club in its quest to become excellent. Every officer holds a term of 1 year, starting in July, ending in June 30th. The 7 roles are President, Vice President of Education, Vice President Public Relations, Vice President Membership, Treasurer, Secretary, and Sergeant at Arms. Let's go over each one of these roles independently. The President is responsible for passing on district information, arranging board meetings at regular intervals so that the officers can cooperate on helping the club achieve excellence, and presiding over meetings. Vice President of Education, their main role is to assist members with pathways, ensure meeting roles are filled, and assign mentors. Not everyone will want a mentor, but they are available, and that is one of the VPE's roles. Vice President of Public Relations, their main role is to bring in guests. They also manage the social media. If you're the kind of person that loves Facebook and Instagram and doing everything that has to deal with online social media, you are the perfect person for VPPR. The VPPR helps represent the club to the world. Sometimes that may entail taking pictures at meetings, short videos, and posting them online to bring people in. Once people are brought in, the VP membership, their job is to turn those guests into members. They will also add members to the website if you have a free Toast website, and to keep track of those guests. Most of the time, you'll want to keep a log of members that come in, get people that come in, and they can sign a guest book, maybe give them a name tag. The secretary's role is to record the minutes of meetings, and that would be all meetings, the board meetings as well as the regular meetings. Every June, by June, the middle of June, a new list of officers will be elected, and this list needs to be submitted to Toastmasters International by no later than July 15th. Additionally, they maintain the club bylaws. What are bylaws? Bylaws are things like when the club meeting starts, when where the club meets. Right now, we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings, and if you are in charge of the bylaws, you will have changed the meeting location to a URL, which will most likely be your, for example, Zoom meeting location. The treasurer is responsible for the money. Oh yeah, that's a fun role. They are responsible to prepare a budget at the beginning of the year in case you have need. For instance, if you're the kind of club that has to pay for a weekly meeting location that has to be accounted for and figured out whether the club needs to charge dues or not and how much. They manage the bank account. At the beginning of every year, beginning of July, the old treasurer and the new treasurer usually will go to your bank or credit union of choice and sign a slip that lets the bank know who is now going to be the signatory on the account, on your checks. Additionally, they request and track dues. The treasurer is the bad boy in the club who asks for the money. Additionally, there's one small form called a 199N. It's a form that is relatively easy to figure out and to submit. It needs to be done once a year, beginning of the new year, at the beginning of the February, March area. The Sergeant at Arms, their main role is to make sure that the meeting room is set up, that all the supplies are laid out, that the lectern is up, and that the chairs and tables are aligned so that the meeting can take place in an orderly fashion. They help to manage the supplies so that if they are running low, they'll request, say, from the treasurer a check or to use the debit card from the account to buy more supplies on the TI store. And fun, they get to gavel in. Every officer attends 2 free trainings a year. Helps other officers. If somebody can't make it, or if they're swamped, then the other officers need to step in. And they set an example for the members. Because after all, if you're in Toastmasters and you're learning how to do public speaking, perhaps you're also in Toastmasters to do leading, to lead by example. And finally, it's a safe place to practice. Because after all, just like it's a safe place to practice public speaking, it's also a safe place to practice how to lead.